Hi everyone, what's up? My name is Sarah and I have type 1 diabetes. We're going to be getting a second video from me this week. I'm trying to post once a week, but since I didn't do that last week, I try to post on the weekend, so I don't know, Friday or Saturday or something. So if you don't, I'm being summoned. The video I posted a couple of days ago was from last week. I felt like recording today specifically though, because I'm wearing my smiley face shirt and I'm like, might as well. Oh, but yesterday Liam Payne passed away, so that's pretty sad. It doesn't feel real. We're gonna kind of talk about what I talked about in my last video. So the reason why I was using the AutoSoft 30, and I think I've mentioned in previous videos, was because the AutoSoft 90 was not working very well for me at times. I would get bent cannulas, and therefore it would raise my blood, and when you get a bent cannula, it's like a failed insulin site. So I would get like some ketones from that because you're not getting any insulin, like your blood sugar goes like high. So yeah, the site wasn't good, and this would happen with that. So I would try, like I mentioned, like the places where I put my insulin site, I would still get, I got a failed insulin site anyway. So I said that your the more fatty part of your hip is the best place to put it, but that didn't even work for me. It failed there. I actually had 2 failed insulin sites in a week. So I called them and I was like, this had gotten recommended to me before, the AutoSoft 30, at least for me. And then I had a conversation with the clinic that they had there, and they were just like evaluating like I don't know, like your different like circumstances and stuff, like as far as like your activity level, like they ask you like a series of questions, like your activity level, your body type, like whatever else, to see if the insulin site would work for you. So the AutoSoft 30 supposedly for me, because they said that I have a more active lifestyle, would be better because it doesn't fall off as easily while you're exercising or something. So and yeah, because I have more athletic body type. I wouldn't say like exactly, but like anyway. So that's what they said, and well, obviously you see it didn't really work out, so I'm gonna have to call them back. But that's why I'm trying to prevent a site fail or a bad site as well. So these are tips that I follow. But so as far as bent cannulas to try and avoid those, let me see. So you obviously you don't want to yank your insulin site when you are changing the site. So I'll show you what I mean with, take this off. When you go to change your insulin site, obviously this would be inside of your insulin pump. This is just for demonstration purposes. You don't want to go yank your insulin site. Like, you don't want to go like this and then kind of, you don't want to twist this back and yank it all the way. And yank it all the way. That's a good way to ruin your insulin site. So when I was first getting my insulin site changed, because when you're a kid, don't know how to change your insulin sites yourself. So when I first got diabetes, I would actually have other people change my insulin sites for me, more because I couldn't reach. You don't yank the insulin site. You have to be gentle with it. You see what else I wrote down. Well, with the tubing, obviously you don't want the tubing to get stuck inside. What I always do is I push the tubing, this is me personally, that way it's out of the way. So you see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, this little slit, like kind of over there. I just kind of, the camera's a little bad. I kind of place it over there and keep it out of the way. you want to make sure, okay, I already took this off. Basically, you see that there's this needle right here. Oh God, the camera sucks. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this a little. This needle right here, I took it off. There's usually a blue guard, I call it blue guard, protecting it. So when you have that, and when you have this covering the tape, you want to make sure, first of all, when you have the tape on, that you are not ruining this tape of the site while you're taking this part off. And then when you have the blue thing on protecting the needle, you want to make sure you're not yanking that either, causing the needle to get ruined or bent or whatever. So you want to be careful with that also. And those are some tips for preventing bent insulin sites. So some things you might not think of. You want to make sure that you're not yanking your insulin site or anything, or accidentally ruining the cannula. Yeah, so those are some tips. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share the word. Oh yeah, so basically too, when you have your insulin site, so another sign that your insulin site is probably trash, if your tape starts getting bent, so picture that the insulin site is on your body. If the tape starts folding over while it's on your body, or if it starts getting bent, that's how you know it's probably not a great insulin site. I've had insulin site where the tape is a little bit ruined, so to speak, or folded over, but that was more toward the end when I had to change my insulin site. When you have an insulin site and if the tape is folded over or something, it's probably not going to be great, or especially because I remember one time my endocrinologist pointing out she wanted to see my insulin site because like I mentioned before, when you go to the endocrinologist, especially in pediatric endocrinology, and this was when I was seeing my pediatric endocrinologist, they like to check where you put your sites to make sure that you don't have bruising or anything, or that the area is irritated by the insulin site. So she was checking my insulin site and she was like, yeah, this probably is not going to be a great site. When did you change it? And I was like, oh, I just changed it a few hours ago. She was like, yeah, you're probably going to need to change it soon because the tape was all bent over. So if your tape is bent over too, it's probably not a great insulin site. So I used to have other people change my insulin sites for me because I was a kid. Yeah, she would always do the best job. Love you, Mom. My mommy, she always did like a good job. She was like the one that taught me like the trick, because sometimes when you have it explained to you, like I don't know, there are like a lot of steps at the endocrinologist, or it doesn't always make sense. So sometimes you need it explained in a more like simplified way. So my mom, because she would always change my sites like back then, and then like eventually I like learned by myself, told me, she was like, hold the ridges like this and then release. So yeah, sites too. And as a kid, like, you rely on your parents and other people if needed to change your insulin site when it has to be changed, because I would change it every 3 days. Usually every 2 to 3 days is when is recommended. So I would be able to go every 3 days while changing it. So sometimes it kind of be like annoying, like if I was going somewhere or whatever else, I would like count down. I'm like, okay, like then if I'm going to somebody else's house, it's gonna be more complicated. I'm not gonna necessarily have the help I need to change my insulin site. So because not everybody knew how to change it, so it's more complicated when you're a kid with changing your insulin site. So and then yeah, so sometimes it would hurt, so that's why it kind of benefited me to learn how to change my insulin site, which is why I wanted to learn how to change it earlier on. Insulin site, like, you could teach them or supervise them or bring them to the endocrinologist to have them explain so that way they know how to change their site on their own or think about changing it on their own. But it's like once you have the hang of it, it's not a big deal. And obviously it hurt less because I was doing. Also, I'm babysitting this little kid with type 1 diabetes this weekend, and yeah, so I'm like really excited. I like talking about like diabetes. I've had it like it's just like a thing when you have like diabetes, like people come up to you and they're like, oh hey, like you have diabetes. But I was out one time too, and I saw this girl with like a Dexcom G7 on or something. So I saw her with like, I don't actually know where my Dexcom is. I saw her with a Dexcom on, and was going to say something to her, but then I like turned around a second later and she was with her boyfriend. Oh, so oh, my eyes are really popping today. I didn't realize this blue is like really making my eyes pop though. Like I never like thought, because my eyes are like kind of, well, green, but like my eyes are green, but with like green eyes it's weird because sometimes like people have thought they're gray or like a blue even. I'm really excited about this new bagel place near me too. It looks like a bagel club or something. Bagel place that looks like a club. I mean, I don't think it's actually gonna taste that good. That's just like my prediction, but like that's the aesthetic they're going for. They have like this one little chair that says like bagel bouncer or something, and looks good. But I know this type 1 diabetes channel, I'm not eating bagels 24/7, but still got to enjoy life. So I got the cups in the way. Hi. Hold on. Sugar and yellow. Put them here for the Halloween spirit. My birthday, so it's the 30th.